pleasure gardens of the young race. They're a bit more quiet now.
Restraining a lion by land.
And throttling a swan by hand. The legend of a shopkeeper and its donkey. Thank goodness they're not quiet.
Bath cure of a small pharmacist.
Very salutary for the health. On the fundamental importance of poon. Poon.
All bees disapprove of loose women.
And quite right too.
Even bumblebees.
Bumblebees. Horseshoes on a dark flood. A poetic image.
Lives of the composers.
Indeed. Salutary for the health. Beowulf machine.
Oh, like Hamlet machine.
Like Hamlet machine.
Salutary for the
In
health.
this great theatre.
Victory over the sun.
Malevich, Konstantin Malevich, Russian supremacist. Taking the seabed by strategy.
It's a very good idea.
Entirely possible with a pack of cards.
The obvious assassin.
They're all obvious. I can spot
Except
one mile off.
to the assassinated.
There's one over there. Our agent Cretin falls. Did you know that Cretin meant Christian?
The electricity box.
They used to give electric shock treatment to mad and disabled people. Blunders of the commissionaire. Well, there was a blunder.
Failed experiments of the Psycho Corporation, sometimes called the Seiko Corporation.
Seiko Corporation, famous for making watches and other electronic goods. If I could turn back time with my Seiko watch.
The Diligent Strangler.
They're all diligent.
Yes.
They've done their homework.
They are very willful.
You must persist to the end if you're a stranger. How to Poke a Baby, Part 1. Part 2 to follow.
Intelligence and its relation to the peach fly.
Many experiments
The Drosophila.
to resolve the experiment, the intelligence of the peach fly. Practical guide to the breeding of monsters. We pass to serious things now.
Raise your monster on milk. Very important for a sense of connectivity.
Be kind to your monsters. Monsters as number 1, the best-selling book. Future of Japan.
Monsters from space. Not to be confused with monsters from the bottom of the ocean.
They come from both places.
They do.
The coming war with monsters. A headline in a newspaper to prepare people to shed blood.
Our reluctant extinctionizing of the monsters.
Saul was reluctant. Oh, I'm so sorry we had to kill you. No pity for monsters. Slogan, held high on a banner.
Empire of evil monsters.
Political rhetoric, speech designed to soften people for a war. Monsters, the final countdown, a pop record on the charts. We all whistle it in our sleep.
Monsters, the ultimate conflict.
The ultimate conflict. The monster attacks the city. To defeat Grendel, the monster, lately scourge of the Danes. This is our mission. It's on our papers. We receive them at the last moment just before we attack. To defeat Grendel, the monster, lately scourge of the Danes. To defeat Grendel, the monster,
Lately scourge of the Danes.
To defeat Grendel, the monster, lately scourge of the Danes. To defeat Grendel, the monster. Here's a case. Here's a man. He's a Frenchman called Ouvrard. You know, he made his first record in 1919, a wax cylinder. Here he is on a French television program in 1968 with Claude François and Roger Whittaker. And he's famous for being tremendously ugly, like a gargoyle, and yet, see the delight on his face. He enjoys being ugly and he makes everybody else enjoy his ugliness. Like the guardians outside a Japanese temple, they look fierce and they're red-faced and their ferocity is actually a token of their kindness. They're protecting you with their ferocity. He protects us from ourselves and from our hatred for the other. This is what it's all about. Woodard, in this song, it's his biggest hit from 1938. It's called I'm Not Doing Too Well. He describes a huge long laundry list of symptoms, everything wrong with his body, goes through his body bit by bit and says what's not working, and it's everything. Nothing is working. And yet you see the radiant joy on the man's face. He's been carried off, possibly to the mortuary, possibly to the hospital, but what can you do? He doesn't have very long to live. I think he has about 3 years. Let's hear what he's singing. We're going to try and translate. Was it charming young lady? We were going to marry for love. One evening, sitting close to her, while I was giving her lessons, seemingly worried, she asked me, "What's the matter?" So I replied, "Your shout, got a splendid dilated, my lips not straight, got a chest that's compressed, my intestines coloured in, my gizzard is anemic, I've got my flanks too high, I've got hips that are, my upper back is top, my stomach is got too fast, my thorax is too into my breast till I'm going to have to stop it here." Dr. Woodard, my shoulders cave in, my back is too thin. This in itself would not be a cause of death, am I right?
Well, it could be a cause of death in terms of the social strife that would result from his immobility, and also very likely would affect his facial complexion.
I see. My guts are too gross, my sternums come loose, my sacrum bones, my sacrum bones, my coccyx unscrewed a bit. It's going too fast. I've got knees that are rigid, my back is rigid, my thighs are sniffling, and my ankles torpedo, my ball bearings hollow, my tibias rubbish, my calves like cabbage, my toes are all scabby, my throat is not flabby, my lungs have got freckles. Freckles on the lungs? Is that health endangering?
Well, I didn't translate this. Is it really freckles?
Maybe the translator had poetic license there, right? Let's continue. My threads are unraveling, I've got guts in the basin, it's not clean. I've got guts in the basin. What is the basin?
Well, the basin is the disc that balances between the pelvis bones, and the smaller stomach is in the middle of that disc, and if it's slightly ajar, then muscles have to be formed to retain equilibrium.
And if it's filthy, that's not good.
Yeah, it increases the waist.
The whiplash is relatively esophageal blows, ingrowing incisors, and palatine spines, and my teeth go green. I've got little ones coming out of my mouth, big ones that one says spray, olives, that's not show that rise, not much better. My right one is bulbous, and everyone said me ideas. My eyelashes slash me, my eyebrows, they damps me, my chin is too long, my arteries are cushy arteries, actually, that sounds serious.
Cushy arteries, yes. Cushy arteries is one of the main reasons the American mortality rate is increasing, and now the French one is following.
He has a temperature. The hole in his neck, it's exhausted to talk. It's got to stop because, of course, he's saying he has a gas hole in his neck. A gas hole, it sounds like asshole, right? Because in French, j'ai le trou dans le cou. I have a hole in my neck, sounds like trou. He has to be dragged off. Such pain in the anatomy, so badly. The tragedy is that Claude François was the first to die after this was filmed. He died standing up in the bath drying his hair with a hairdryer.